Розпочинаємо роботу.
We start our work at Ukraine Crisis Media Center. Now the floor is given to Colonel Dmytro Hutsulyak, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson on NATO-related issues. Welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. The militants of Russian occupation forces continue to consciously violate ceasefire regime at the front line. Although yesterday the occupants didn't use mortars, they delivered provocative shellings of our positions with the use of small arms. In the Lugansk sector, one precision enemy shellings against positions of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Dnipro-Lugansk region was recorded. In the evening, starting 7:30, the occupants opened fire with the use of small arms in the direction of our defenders. In the Donetsk sector, enemy delivered two precision shellings of our defense positions, also using small arms. At night, starting about 2:30, militants of Russian occupation forces delivered shellings in the region of Vodyane, and after 11:40 near Avdiivka. During the last 24 hours, 3 precision shellings delivered by Russian occupation forces against the defense positions of our military were recorded. Ukrainian servicemen didn't return fire, strictly adhering to the announced ceasefire starting midnight on the 5th of March. And unfortunately, yesterday, in the result of enemy shellings delivered by Russian occupation forces, one serviceman was killed. He was born in 1994. Our hearts go out to relatives and close ones of our defender who courageously defended Ukraine. Since midnight, 5th of March, when agreements of trilateral contact group on the ceasefire regime came into effect, this is the third loss for Ukraine. Moreover, in the result of enemy shelling, one Ukrainian serviceman was wounded. He was delivered to military mobile hospital and he was provided with all necessary qualified medical help. State of his health is of mid-severity. And now about other news. In Lvivshina, field exercises of servicemen of operative reserve continue. In 184 training center of National Academy of Land Forces, servicemen gathered for reserve training, improved their knowledge and skills on different military specialties. The program of training envisages restoration of individual skills gained during military service and preservation of combat experience and potential accumulated by our servicemen who participated in the ATO. In the firing ground, the reservists improved their skills in engineering, firing, technical training, and technical medicines. And after completion of training, servicemen will go to units and large units of their registration, and there they will undergo combat cohesion in small units. The armed forces of Ukraine, they continue actively to re-equip barracks of military compounds for comfortable living of military personnel. Historic buildings of barracks in Teribovlia town in Ternopolshina will be used this year by the military as intended. In 2004, small unit that was stationed here was redeployed in other place, and in 2016, leadership of the state took decision to restore functioning of military facility and to re-equip barracks for living of military personnel. According to plans of Defense Ministry, servicemen of one of artillery brigades will live here. Process of capital repair of building of the military compound is at its final lap. Soldiers' barrack has been turned into a hostel where servicemen will live not in a communal premise but will live comfortably for 3-4 people in one room. Ministry of Defense timely allocated money and carried out open tenders through Prozorro system. During 2 years, a lot has been done. The walls are old, but everything else is new. And not only the state participated in the development of its infrastructure, this were also the local government bodies and the charity businessmen. As of start of 2018, 85% of construction works were completed on this facility, and this is proven by relevant acts of completed works. Now builders are waiting for the snow to come off to complete development of adjacent territories and drives to buildings. And lastly, I would like to say that representatives of the National University of Defense of Ukraine, named after Ivan Chernyakhovsky, took part in annual conference dedicated to counteraction to Russian hybrid war. And this event was organized by Baltic Defense College in Tartu, Estonia. This conference, held for the 5th time, gathered representatives of Baltic countries, Canada, US, Georgia, Poland, Germany, Great Britain, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and other countries. In the course of the conference, the head of the National University of Defense of Ukraine, Lieutenant General Anatoly Seretenko, held a number of business meetings with the representatives of educational institutions of partner countries. In the course of the conference, they discussed issues of counteraction to Russian aggression and hybrid war, and that this country carry out against civilized world. And Vasil Skalerenko, representative of the university, took part in this conference in one of the seminars, and this report was dedicated to the topics of counteraction to information war of Russia against Ukraine. I do not hear the question. The microphone was not provided to the person who asked the question. Trilateral Contact Group announced a ceasefire starting midnight on the 5th of March, and in 5 days we have 3 servicemen who was killed during this time. I don't hear the question. The microphone was not provided. You know that, according to the words of the head of state, by a military and diplomatic way, we want the end of this war that was unleashed by Russia, and the servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine and all the representatives of other law enforcement structures that complete tasks in this area, they always hold and adhere to a ceasefire, and they return fire only in case of direct threat to the life of servicemen. If some shelling is going on, only commander on site can decide this. They can return fire. But if the commander didn't take such decision, they won't return fire in such a case. And the positions, they are really good, but you know that each second, each serviceman on the post, they are waiting. They do not know from what side will the shelling be delivered. So in what way did they die, the servicemen? Was it a sniper? It was enemy shelling. The day before yesterday, the militants, Russian occupation forces, used mortars and small arms and grenade launchers. And yesterday, on the 9th of March, recorded were the shellings with the use of small arms only. And this loss happened yesterday in the result of firing with the use of small arms. Thank you.